Okay, we're back with another episode of the Gritty Hour. And here we are with Sean E. Boy, who's in Florida.
What's up?
Last time we did a podcast, you were sitting right next to me. Now you're all the way the hell down in Florida.
I know I've been traveling. I'm in the FLA. It's been so far the weather's been amazing. And actually, this time of year, it's usually 100 degrees. It's been like 85, 90. So I'll take it.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you're nice and warm down there, though. It's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
hot as hell up here too.
yeah. I heard the weather's been crazy up in New York.
Well, you went down there soon after the 4th of July, correct?
Yeah, I flew down and Storm Elsa, whatever it was, just left Florida. So I like flew around it. Like we literally flew around it into Florida. And then I heard it just like hit you guys hard.
I think it hit New York harder than it did Florida.
Yeah,
got-
I believe so.
Like a week's worth of rain. Let me put my incense on so I can get into the mood.
Yeah. Was it that? Is that white scent?
Yeah, it's ambrosia. All right. Before we start, though, I want to. I thought we did this in a previous podcast, but I may have deleted it. Shawnee boy, your uncle is he's getting long in the tooth.
I got you.
Where the hell's my cane?
You're doing all right. You're doing all right.
I'm just going to read off the directories of where this podcast can be found. So just bear with me. Uno moment. So obviously you can find us on grittyhour.com. All of our podcasts are available on there. And you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. So sing a song, Sean. Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Pocket Casts, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Alexa, which I think is TuneIn, Alexa, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, Podcast Index, Overcast, Castro, Castbox, and Podfriend.
Cast this.
Yeah. Now, the video portion of this is also available on our YouTube channel if you are, if you want to abuse yourself and actually watch us. Gritty Hour, the Gritty Hour on YouTube. The first few podcasts, we only have snippets of it on there. And then now we have the full podcast available on YouTube. All right, Shawnee boy. So what's going on down in Florida? I thought you said you were going to have a palm tree behind you for a prop. All I see is a duck with some lettuce.
This is a stepmom special. She's into like pictures like that. Flower. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, you're in your dad's house down there?
Yeah, my dad's house. They live on Anna Maria Island, which is the northern island of 3 islands, Longboat, and then Siesta Key. A lot of people know Siesta Key. They even did a show on it MTV. And it's a little paradise down here, man. It's pretty much wake up, work out, hit the pool, play some golf, hit the pool, hit the beach, barbecue. Just kind of, was watching the Mets, but this has been I was talking to my buddy. I talked about. I don't really want to get into baseball today, but
Sure you do.
It's been a nice all-star break. But like, I was excited for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, wow, I got a break this week. I feel like I'm one of the players or something. But that's just in my head. But it's been a nice little time.
One of the things we said in the previous podcast was a lot of people watch the home run derby, which your boy did win, Alonso.
He smoked it. He literally.
And nobody watches the All-Star game. So we were proven right on that.
Yeah. Why did you check the ratings for it?
If you happen to be tripping over this podcast for some reason and you watch the All-Star game, no offense.
Yeah.
No offense.
The All-Star game is, I watched I usually watch, like, I'm not gonna lie, I watched like the first inning, blah, 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 blah. And then it's just like, it's kind of a silly game, but whatever. Some people are probably into it. I went in 2013 when it was at Citi Field. I went with my brother because we're season ticket holders. We went to the All-Star game, the home run derby. It was cool. I wouldn't care to do it again, but it was cool to do it once.
Yeah. Well, we went into previously we went into why the appeal of the All-Star game is not what it used to be for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
one being interleague play. Takes away the luster of that, but. So is it empty down there in Florida where you're at?
No, I've been coming down to this island.
What's the name of the island?
Anna Maria
Anna
Island.
Maria.
Yeah, it's really pretty much due west of Sarasota. If you kept going, you ran into the Gulf. That'd be Anna Maria. The first time I came down here was in like 94, and I was like 15, 16, and it was dead. It was nothing. And for a 15-year-old, I'm like, there's no cute girls on the beach. It's just old people. This place sucks. But then as time has gone on, I started to come down here probably for the last 10 years, almost every summer. I consider myself a semi-local during the summertime. And it's blown up. It's absolutely completely like it's like if they like threw an amusement park onto this island of like stores and bars and the beach being packed. That's kind of what happened here.
So it's not an exclusive island anymore.
No, and I don't mind it like this, but there's a part of me that misses 10 years ago when I could go to the beach and it would just be quiet and whatever. But now it's now there's cute girls in bikinis and all that stuff going on. So it's not terrible.
No, if you're gonna be crowded with people, you might as well be crowded with cute girls in bikinis.
Yeah. So it's been and then my mode of transportation is on this island. Like I said in a previous podcast, I get to drive the golf cart and to buzz it around the island. So it's a nice way to and I got music going from the golf cart. So it's just a good vibe.
How big is this island?
It's 8 miles long, 2 miles wide. Something like
wow.
That. 7 miles long, 2 miles wide, something like that. It's tiny.
Yeah. So what is it?
Right? It's not like
it's on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, Gulf Coast. So it's probably it's an hour south of Tampa. It's a little bit below Central Florida.
So now, when you flew down there, you fly into Tampa?
Yeah, there's 3 airports around here. I usually fly into Sarasota when I was living in Astoria in Queens. Like LaGuardia to Sarasota was a direct shot. But now, because I live in Westchester, and I sold out from the city, Westchester Airport goes direct to Tampa. So now I go to Tampa. So
anybody watching this should know we were supposed to have another guest today. Sean and I were going to co-host. Timmy Leary, my buddy down in the Bronx. He's they call him the Bull, and he is a Bronx legend. So when he does come up here, he doesn't want to do a Zoom for some reason. He wants to do live in the. He wants to come up to Millbrook and see what Millbrook's all about.
Oh boy!
Anyway, he wants to do his podcast sitting next to me. So that'll be happening, I guess, later in the month or maybe in early August. And so you and I are going to have to wing it tonight, Sean.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think we ever have a problem with that. So
no, but I don't know how to integrate. Again, I think I told you in the past, I don't know how to integrate you on Zoom while there's somebody here into one cohesive podcast.
Well, I'll be home in 2.5 weeks, so not that far.
Well, if you want to come up and sit on Timmy's lap while we're podcasting.
Yeah, we'll figure. I think it'd be good to do a co-host.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, we should try one of those where you're here while someone's here, so we can figure out how that works.
We could all hold hands. We could hug. It'd be good.
Yeah, a group hug. Yeah.
But I wanted to, what I noticed about the community my dad lives in is what's really nice about it. It's like I'm not saying this is the only place in the world that has this, but like in the New York area, you don't really get this where like it's a community, like neighbors look out for each other, like people are like helping each other out, everyone's like very kind and friendly down here. It's just such a nice change. Like I slow down and like I find like a positive energy from like the community that lives in this neighborhood. So that's been like something I've really noticed this year. I'm like, oh, that's great. Just to be a part of it.
Believe it or not, Millbrook is kind of like that.
Yeah,
except for me, I don't help nobody.
I don't believe that at all. I'm generalizing, but like let's say where I live in Croton, like it's one of the not that I want to have, because we could talk about this, like neighbor that you become too friendly with that you shouldn't become friendly with. all of a sudden they're stopping you every time you see them, and you got to talk to them, and you got to bullshit.
Sean, you want me to mow your lawn?
So like there's a weird boundary, right? Like if you go too far with some people, you're like, ah, fuck, here's Scott. Hey, Scott. And then you got to pretend to like want to talk to Scott.
How the hell are you today? Are you any better than yesterday? Any worse?
Yeah. You know.
How you going to be tomorrow? This is what I have to ask you.
And then they're like, oh, I saw what you did with your patio. You keeping those flowers there? They're like, you know, they're like judging your shit. You're like, all right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, that's too intense. I like being neighborly, but that sounds a little too intense for me, you know?
Yeah, I you know, most of the people here are retired. You know, I'm like the young sprout that like comes through like four weeks out of the year. Because my dad has he belongs to a golf club up the street, and I joined it for the month. So I know a lot of the fellows that play there. They all obviously live on the island. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just a nice change, is I guess what I'm trying to get at. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. In short spurts, it's only a month, so.
Yeah, and I go to the Bronx every day. That's the opposite. The Bronx is the opposite of that. So.
Yeah. You need help with that, ma'am? Get off me!
Right. Why are you saying hello? What the hell's wrong with you? Were you weirdo? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's what a change of pace is supposed to be for.
Yeah. So I'm feeling, and like I've been here now 1 week, and like usually takes about 5 days to a week to find your rhythm, and now finally, have a nice rhythm going. So.
And you've been barbecuing every day?
Oh yeah, for the most part. My dad came down this week, so the first couple of days I set up the house, and now he's here for 7 to 10 days, whatever it is, and then the last week and a half I'll just be chilling by myself.
Well, tell him I said howdy.
Yeah, I'll let him know. I told him we were doing this. He's like, really? I was like, yeah.
You sure you want to do that?
Wait, with Ginny's brother? You sure?
Oh boy. So tomorrow, and this is going to be, I don't know when the hell these come out. They come out every Monday, but I don't know what goes where, in terms of when I'm done editing.
Yeah.
Like the one we did last Monday was, I thought came out really good, was with Lily's Medi-Spa, which is a,
I haven't watched it yet, but I will.
Oh, it was, well, listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's her name is Lily, her daughter's name is Joy, very articulate, very articulately describing what they do over there. So I learned a lot.
The opposite of us. All right, good.
No, we don't learn nothing. Nobody learns nothing from our conversation.
I meant the articulation.
Yeah.
The opposite.
Yeah. You're looking for the unsubscribe button. But if you happen to be watching us, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Is that what you tell people?
Yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe, Gritty Hour.
Yeah. Or if you're listening to us on any of those things I just mentioned, I guess there's a place to subscribe there as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a subscription button everywhere now.
Yeah, Apple and Google, or Spotify. So, so anyway, but what I wanted to say was, I don't know when, like we do these podcasts, I don't know when. Yours this one might come out Monday coming, which would be July, whatever.
July, how you do?
But tomorrow night, this is Thursday as we're doing this. This is Thursday evening. Tomorrow night, Friday night, we have, I'm really excited about this. His name is Asa, and he's a World War II veteran. He's, I think, 95 years old, 94, 95 years old. I think I mentioned this in the previous podcast. He was in the Army Air Corps, which was what your grandfather was in. My father, your grandfather, was in the Army Air Corps. And we went through this already where, it became the Air Force. Yeah.
By the way, just Space Force is a show.
I knew you were going to bring up Space Force. I actually looked at that. It's right now, I think it's a subdivision of, or an offshoot of the Air Force.
Okay, so it's now Netflix has a show called Space Force. Do you know that?
It was either a show or a movie, right? With Steve Carell.
I don't even know. I have no idea. Like I didn't click on it, but I saw it like a day or two ago, and I started laughing. I'm like, "Oh, this is something. It's actually, this is all real." Yeah,
Well,
so
this is what they're trying to, they've gotten like $16 billion to form this thing, so. Let's see
that's
what
it.
$16 billion can get you.
I feel like
They should have called it Space Command or something, because
Yeah.
they should have known it was either a movie or a TV show called
Yeah.
Space Force, you know,
or Space Invaders.
Space Invaders, but I like Space Command. It sounds more domineering.
Sounds sounds legit.
Yeah,
The-
it sounds legit. Space Force doesn't sound legit. I agree with you.
yeah, it sounds like a cartoon or space. What's the name of the guy? He just went up in space in like his $1 billion rocket or whatever.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was in outer space for like 2 hours or something.
yeah, and like there's a list of 600 people that want to do it, and it's like 250,000 a seat, a ride, or whatever.
I'll look under my cushions when I get home.
Yeah,
See what I
yeah.
got.
Tell me how it goes. That's kind of crazy though. That like that's become like people are just now taking a trip to space and back. So I mean, yeah, it's not like I'm not like shocked by it, but it's just it's
It
really
is it is a brave new world. Yeah.
yeah.
I think about all that's changed since when I was a kid till now. And, you know, obviously technology has taken over the world, but I also look at, like my grandparents' lifespan, like my grandmother lived to be 99 years old. So she saw a hell of a lot of change too. She was born in 1886, died in 1885.
Yeah.
So she saw quite a lot of change herself. So I guess in one lifetime you do see change. You know, you're gonna have
It's
to adapt or die.
it's sometimes it's good. Sometimes I think you internally fight the change because it probably goes against the things that you're comfortable with. And at the same time, like like it's cool but scary. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's cool and scary kind of at the same time. All the stuff that's happening.
Speaking of, we'll tie in those two together. Your great grandfather, my grandfather, came from Letterkenny, Donegal in Ireland. And one of my dealers here in the Millbrook Antique Center made for me it's like a street sign that says Letterkenny and what the population is,
Yeah.
you know. And I have it in near the front counter of the shop here, you know. Well, in the last 5 weeks, about 4 people have asked to buy that thing because apparently there's a TV show talking about Space Force. There's a TV show called Letterkenny on one of those channels.
Oh, there is. Yeah, there is.
I don't think it's Netflix or Amazon. I think it's like Hulu or whatever, but it's Letterkenny, Canada. And I don't even know if it's a real town or a fictional town. But anyway, so now everybody wants to buy. I can't sell it because the guy gave it to me as a gift. So
I mean, you could, but you're not going to. I hear you.
So I guess that's
'Cause
it must be a popular show if these people. It's like every weekend someone asks me to buy that. Someone asks to buy that sign, and
Isn't that like shows now are like you watch a show and because of that show you want to buy certain shit? It's like a weird concept.
it's always been that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Hopalong Cassidy had marketing. You know.
The hell's that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But there was like going back to the 50s, TV shows had, you could buy secret Dakota rings and all sorts of crap all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that part hasn't changed. I mean, that's always been that way.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about so I do subject myself to binge watching something if I happen to like it, So now I've been watching Kim's Convenience.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
I watched a couple episodes. Didn't pull me in, but it's one of those shows that I may watch it again and could pull me in. It just might have been the timing.
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly enamored with the writing, but I do like the Kim. That's the guy who runs the convenience store. I happen to like his character, and I don't know who the hell the guy is that's playing him, but he's doing a great job. It's a Korean immigrants to, I believe they're in Ontario, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was by like City Field in Queens because that's like,
You know, you're the second person that told me that. Poet J.R. McCarthy thought it was in Queens
Yeah.
also.
because a little Korea over there.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a little Korea somewhere in Ontario too.
I
And it's funny when they show the outside scenes, it kind of looks like Queens.
yeah, I think that's why I thought that.
Yeah, but it's most definitely Ontario, unless they're taking Canadian money in Queens now,
Because they have a corner
which is
store.
entirely possible.
Good. Because they run a corner store, right? A bodega.
Yeah, it's a convenience store.
Yeah.
But I like the guy that the father. He's Kim. That's the name. He's
Yeah.
Kim's convenience store,
Yeah.
right?
It's a dad, a mom, a son, and a daughter, right? Something like
Correct.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you like full? This is your show now? You watching it?
No, I mean I like it. I can't say I love it, but I do enjoy it. So I do binge. They make it this Netflix you got me onto. They make it so easy to binge watch. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you click next episode, and then you click skip intro, and you're back in the next on to the next.
You can like the first, like like binge watching. That's pretty much a cultural thing for I think a lot of people, I would guess. But I know all my buddies binge. But like the first show I binge watched was I don't know if you know Sons of Anarchy. This is probably 10 years ago, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that used to be on cable first, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I binge watched it, and I got like this is like I literally watched it for 24 hours straight. Like sun came up, kind of got like lost in it, and I didn't realize all of a sudden I'm like it was like on a weekend, but I'm like is it like 11 in the morning? I just was like just got so wrapped up in it, and then I was like oh wow, like binge watching, that's a thing.
Well, it reminds me of a weird experience I had years ago. I was still living in the Bronx, so I binge watch. Is this cable on demand?
Yeah.
Back when I had cable, which I don't anymore. Not American Pickers. What was the name of that show with the old man and the three guys and the porn stars?
Porn.
Yeah.
They had Porn Stars, Orange County Bikers, and Pickers. Those are like the three main.
Yeah, and Storage Wars. That was all reality TV. Are my hands high enough?
Yeah.
Reality TV. But anyways, I happened to one night did the exact same thing you just described. I was till like 4 a.m. I was watching one episode after the next of Porn Stars, and
just so you know, you froze for a second, and it sounded like Porn Stars.
well, it's my accent. It sounds like Porn Stars, whether I'm freezing or not.
That's
Coffee.
Good.
But anyway,
Coffee.
wait till you hear Timmy Leary talk, because he has much worse accent than I do. I don't have
Well,
an accent. All you other people have accents.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it.
But so I'm watching Porn Stars till like 4 a.m, and I fell asleep. Woke up at like I don't know 8 or 9. Then I went down to Manhattan onto Bleecker Street.
Mhm.
You know what? I went down to get there was a record store down there.
The famous one. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I forget the name of it too.
I didn't talk about.
But if they stuck it out, their records are back in vogue now. So hopefully they're doing well.
I think it's still there.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, I come out of there and I'm walking back towards the train, and a car pulls up, and who gets out but Mo, Larry, and Curly, whatever the hell their names was, from the Porn Stars.
Yeah.
The big guy and the heavyset guy and the father, not the old man though.
Okay, the bald guy, like the main, not the old man, the main guy.
The main guy,
tall,
Harrison. I think his name is Harrison, right?
The monster guy.
The big tall fella. And then Squeegee, whatever the hell his name was.
Squeegee. Luigi.
Or whatever his name was. And they get out of the car and they're walking into something. I was like, what the hell are you people doing here? He goes, whoa, we're working.
Yeah.
I said, who the hell's watching the store? Not knowing, it's there's no reality in reality TV.
No,
if you go to that joint in Vegas, it's like a gift shop,
Yeah. It's not.
You're not gonna, these guys aren't standing around buying crap from you, you know?
No, it's all set up, right? Are you? Side note: are you still going to Vegas?
Going in October, yes.
Okay, good, good, good. So maybe you'll stop by the gift shop.
I probably won't. I'll be in the sports book.
Gotcha.
In fact, you know, with my ever widening list of boycotts,
You're like, you know what? I boycotted everything. I just sit home. I don't do
yeah,
anything.
where's Uncle Tom? He's in the catacombs. He said, fuck it. Um, they're all going, everybody that's going out there is going to, I guess, a Raiders game. Did they
Okay.
move to Vegas or something?
Yeah, they're in Vegas.
All right. So
Okay.
I said, well, I'll be at the sports book. So
Yeah. Betting on the game you're
yeah,
at.
they'll be dropping me. No, I only bet on horses, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is if you're in Vegas in October and if the Mets do make a run, it might not be a bad bet to put a little something on the on a World
Yeah.
Series run.
Yeah. So there's another show now. Not having cable, I don't have HBO anymore or any of that stuff. I don't miss it, you know. And actually, you can subscribe to HBO on something Prime, Amazon Prime, or
Yeah, YouTube Prime. You can get through there.
yeah.
It's like $10 extra or something.
Well, I think I had mentioned the guy that does the lighting, or he will be doing the lighting for this podcast.
Yeah.
Does the lighting for one of the HBO productions, and there's a new production that they're doing now called The White House Plumbers. I don't know if it's a, you know, an ongoing TV show or a film. It stars Woody Harrelson.
Oh, it's like, okay, it's not real.
No, it's about the White House plumbers, the guys that broke into Watergate.
Oh, okay.
See,
Yeah.
one of the main guys in that whole thing, this is during the Nixon administration. One of the main guys that was involved with that was G. Gordon Liddy, who was in the Nixon administration. But before he was in the Nixon administration, he was the district attorney for Dutchess County, which is where I'm sitting. So they're doing a lot of filming around here, and they're going to be taking over the diner in Millbrook in August.
Oh, down the street?
Yeah, to film that. So that'll be good. I'm going to mosey down here, see what the buffet looks like for the actors.
Yeah.
I hear they put out a good spread for the staff.
They do. Astoria, you know, it's like now that because they have the Kaufman Studios. You know what I'm talking about? So that was the Hollywood of the East back in like the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah, during the silent film era, that was where Hollywood was, in Astoria.
Yeah. And they just not now, but like in the last 10, 15 years, they redid the whole thing. So because of that, my last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years in Astoria, there was a ton of movies that were filmed, and they lay out a spread because you'll walk by and see.
You know, nothing for nothing. I think one of the preservationists of that, one of those studios that was in Astoria, was that upstanding citizen, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, the Cosby Show was in Kaufman Studios. That's where the Fan used to be. There was another major show there, but the Cosby Show was filmed in Astoria.
Yeah. Well, this production company and there's two major production companies that are in this general vicinity. What I like about them is they come into my store to buy props sometimes.
Yeah.
And when they buy, they buy. I mean,
yeah, it's a win.
And I'm the same way when I'm spending somebody else's money, you know.
Yeah. How much is my budget? You got it. No
You
problem.
got it. Put it in my car.
Yeah.
But they're in Newburgh, which is, I think both of them are one's located, I think, in Poughkeepsie, one's located in Newburgh. I might be wrong about that, but they're located in not too far from here. So, but G. Gordon Liddy is what I wanted to say. He was one of the people that arrested Timothy Leary, you know, the LSD guy.
Not your buddy?
Tune in, drop out, whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
Because he used to be located just down the block from my shop here in this big mansion down the block here.
Back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, that was like hippie. This town was hippie central in the late 60s. No, you wouldn't believe it now.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, get toga. But So I don't know if they're going to be filming up there. It's called the Hitchcock Estate. That's the name of the place. But you know, the guy still lives there, Hitchcock. So I don't know if they. But at the time, he was good friends with Timothy Leary, or his father was, or something.
It's
So
not
he,
I'm
huh?
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so that was like hippie central, and this sort of kind of evolves around. This story sort of kind of revolves around G. Gordon Liddy. So I don't know how extensively they're going to be filming in Millbrook, but I know they are taking over the diner sometime in mid-August.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm sure that sounds excited about that. I remember in Astoria, like when they first started filming movies, people were like, there was like a buzz. There was a buzz about it. I'm sure there's
Yeah,
still a buzz, but there was like in the beginning there was like a buzz.
yeah. But this guy Charlie, he got to do he works as a, I guess they call it a grip. That's the union term for what he does over there. He'll do a shift like yesterday. I think he had to go in at 4 o'clock, and he was assuming they'd be filming till like 6 in the morning. So I guess it must be whatever they were filming. It took place at night.
Yeah, that's a hell of a schedule because it's like so inconsistent based on what like the setting of the movie or show. Like if it's a night setting, you got to be at night, right? If it's a day setting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd be look. I guess I'll have to catch that. There was a show on HBO called I know I'm saying it. This I know to be true. I know this much is true. It was a TV show that came out like the year before last, and I don't know if they did some filming in this general area, and but I remember they bought like I don't know, they came in here and bought like $1,200 worth of crap, which was fine with me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a win.
I'm gonna. You can't tell, but I'm actually on the internet because I'm looking up.
Oh, we're moving into let's look up and be a little bit more professional about our
Well, the computer's a lot closer to me when I'm. I know this much is true. Trying to get this guy's name.
that's a million.
It came out last year, actually.
That
It
sounds
was
like
like a 3 episode thing, I think. It was actually, I wanted to mention this guy's name because I haven't seen it, but I know I'm told he did it. Mark Ruffalo.
yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
But I was told I have to check it out. I was told he did an excellent job because he plays twin brothers, I believe. He plays two roles, and I think the width of the time frame it covered was from like 1920 through 1980. So as as an actor, I guess that must have been quite the role, quite the task to play two roles. But I think he was one of the producers of it too. So you go that extra mile when your own pocket money's on the line there.
You're like, you know what? I'll take this one too.
You guys need coffee? I'm going to get coffee. So yeah, that, interesting things for the summer. And
What's is Millbrook is summer the hot time, the hot spot in for Millbrook? Is that where you get the most people?
one more time, Sean.
Um
Throw it at me in English this time.
You got it. I said, is Millbrook, it's the summer, is that the time to be there? Is that when you get the most people in the summertime?
Yeah, it's hard to say. The town gets more crowded in the summertime. Yes, there's a lot of people from the Hamptons. It's like a lot of the people that come up here are interchangeable with the Hamptons, the same people.
You get people from the Hamptons that shoot up there?
Yeah, and people from up here that shoot down in the Hamptons.
Well, that's a hell of a journey. I mean,
well, it's Millbrook is known as horse country, so some of these people come up to ride horses. And
I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's a nice town, but it's pretty quick.
well, there's a lot to do. You only know Millbrook from
Three
where
yeah.
This is the business road here,
Yeah.
but it's filled with horse farms and it's got a winery
Oh, okay.
and a botanical garden. It's got a lot of crap around here.
Oh, maybe one day I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Would I be able to ride a horse? Or is that's a no?
I've never seen you ride one. I don't know.
I've never.
But if you wanted to,
Yeah.
I can hook you up with somebody who can give you a horse.
I've never actually been on a horse. Have you?
I think I went when, this is my incense, sorry.
Yeah.
I think I went once when, no,
I'm trying to picture this.
I was a little child.
Yeah.
One of those little, the horse
I was like 30.
is like 3 months away from dropping dead. You know, they
Yeah.
put little kids on it and it goes
They have
around
like
the thing.
they have the leash. So the
Yeah, I think I was on a horse for about 45 seconds.
That's about right. No,
Well, you know, where I used to live in the Bronx, I used to live in Pelham Bay, as you know. Just down the block was the stables for the NYPD horses.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And ironically, just down the road from where I'm now, is where the NYPD horses go when they retire. You know, horse range, whatever you want to call it. So the horses are following me, Sean.
But a side note, you know, my dad's family's from Pelham Bay, so I know you know this, but I just figured I'd say
Yeah,
that.
well, you've been to my house many times when I lived
Yeah,
there.
you
And
were you on?
you knew he was where he grew up was 2 blocks from where I was.
Yeah, you were
Well,
on.
he was on Wilkinson Avenue, right?
Yeah, you were on Continental or something, right?
Yeah, St. Paul Continental, right by the 6th train. We had
Yeah.
stop on the 6th
Yeah.
train.
Right where that famous bacon, egg, and cheese spot I taught you about.
Yes, to anyone who's putting themselves, subjecting to themselves to listening this far into the podcast, Shawnee Boy's the one that got me into bacon, eggs, and cheeses there.
I learned about him in college.
Of course, I was 180 pounds when you did that, you know, so thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the horses. I've always thought about like, oh, it might be cool to ride a horse, but then I look at it, I'm like, that seems like a lot of work. It seems like it would hurt your ass. Obviously, it probably hurt you. Like, to really ride a horse, there's like a whole thing to it.
Well, if you're serious about, you know, my business partner's son and daughter-in-law just moved up here last week from Westchester, actually.
Yeah. To ride horses?
No, they bought a house up here in Millbrook. They fell in love with the town and moved up here.
Have you been?
He was saying yesterday, his name is Keith, that he wants to ride horses. So we know a guy here in town, nice Irish fella, that could hook him up. Might as well hook you up too.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. You know?
Make a whole cavalry out of you.
Yeah, we'll make a weekend out of it. All of a sudden, we're marching down the street.
There you go. But it is known as horse country, so you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a horse.
That's right. Yeah, my school in the Bronx, you know, the kids have recess, and I'm at a point where I go out and like help monitor or whatever. Every year, I guess maybe the same day, I don't know, the police take the horses out around that neighborhood. I don't know why, but then they walk them past the recess and all the kids go nuts. It's cool though. I mean, when you see a horse up close, you realize how damn big they are. You're just like, damn, that's a big animal.
When you're in front of Madison Square Garden trying to scalp tickets,
Yeah,
you'll get up close and personal with some of their horses, the NYPD horses.
they're huge.
They'll make you move the hell out of the way. That's for sure.
They definitely make you move. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are. They are high off the ground, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, they used to go ride by my window every night when they went home for the night, the horses. So I don't know why the hell they didn't drive them right to the stable, but
Did you have a lot of shit on your sidewalk? Seriously?
no,
Yeah.
not that the car. You know, get 2 or 3 cars riding over it, you don't even notice it.
No, because horses they'll take a dump, you know, wherever they please. As they're walking, they're shitting. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
they're not housebroken, that's for sure.
No.
It's funny you say that. I follow a channel on YouTube that shows they do colorization and speed correction, 60-bit, whatever the hell they're talking about, of old black and white, not movies, but you know, scenes from Paris, street scenes in Paris, street scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just happened to see the other day, he re-upped a video of New York in the I think it was 1920 itself. And, you see a lot of people walking. It's actually, they were walking around near where I used to work on Wall Street.
Oh wow.
And all you see is like horse shit all over the
Oh
streets.
man. The cities 100 years ago must have stunk. They
I
must
don't
have
think you noticed it much though,
You had horse shit, you had garbage everywhere. But if you know history, I know you do, like, there'd be like just waste everywhere. There'd even be like a dead body every once in a while on the street. It just must have been a scene 100 years
Sounds
ago.
like yesterday in New York, but from what I hear, although I haven't been down here in quite some time, but the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
And anybody who's watching these podcasts, I've said this already, but the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I've used at least 4 times since you put that saying in my head.
That's good. I'm glad.
So I appreciate that. I'm getting a hell of a lot of mileage out of that.
I told you it's not mine, so have at it. Because it's a great way to say, like you want to do that? Nah, juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. I'm good. Yeah.
Part of my daily,
And now, have you gotten responses from people being like, "Oh, that's a good"?
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, in fact, I said it yesterday to a lady. Well, I was talking about auctions. Because I used to do auctions here too.
Oh, you don't do that anymore?
Well, I do, but not as often as I used to.
Okay.
And the reason why?
Because of this.
Because the juice ain't worth the squeeze.
There you go. There you go. There you go. It's not.
No, when this room I'm sitting in is the second floor of my shop, and this whole back room, which is now, I have a little area here. It's sort of like a storeroom / podcast thing.
I like to call it a little nook. You got like a little nook.
Yeah, I like it. It's even got carpeting. But anyway, the whole room, which it's a big room, used to be the auction room. I used to do live auctions in the room and be online as well. So we'd have people calling in, people bidding online, and people in the house bidding. And with that, it was, you can make some money, but doing internet only since COVID, I did about 6 auctions during last year during the shutdown, when the store itself was forced to shut down. But it was internet only, and the platform you use charges a commission. It's a lot of labor, and without having the live audience, in addition to the internet audience, you don't get as many bids as you would normally get.
What do you do? Like a live? You would do a live feed, and then people would just like come in through Zoom?
Yeah, well, there's an auction-centric platform that auctioneers use to put their auctions on. People register there and get their credit card approved for whatever. It works that way. I don't want to name the joint, but
it's all
right. Their commission has gotten so high because everything's on the internet, and COVID was like a propellant. It's like more things are on the internet than ever. They've been forced to, because they have competitors now that started internet auctions or internet estate sales, that kind of stuff. So their competition has forced them to increase their commissions that they charge the auctioneer.
It sounds like it's just become a hassle.
It became prohibitive in terms of it's coming right out of your bottom line, and you can only pass so much of that on to the prospective buyer before it becomes, you buy something for $100 and you got to pay a $25 buyer's premium because the auctioneer is charging a 25% buyer's premium because he's getting charged 18% by the online platform.
Yeah, that's what happened because of the pandemic with StubHub. StubHub, because the Met games that me and my brother don't go to, I'll sell them on the secondary market, which is totally fine. And they're taking now 15%. They were taking 10% before the pandemic, and now obviously I know they got crushed last year because nobody went to anything. But they raised it 5%, so they're now taking $15 on every $100 you make. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the general trend. More things are going online exclusively, or in a much more, much more, many more businesses around online exclusively, and so the competition is becoming harder for the online platforms. And as the end user, which I was in that case, the auctioneer, the fee that I was getting charged to put an auction up online was prohibitive. So, I could barely break even, make a couple of bucks on an auction. So we do it fewer and far up between now.
And that connects to the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
This juice just isn't worth the squeeze anymore.
Yeah, man, it's not worth it. So yeah, I like that. You like that. Yeah, that's from it's definitely from one movie I know. It's from other stuff too, but
It's a keeper.
it's a keeper. It's a keeper. It always feels good when you come across a phrase or some vocabulary that you haven't heard that you're like, oh, I like that, and yet you get to use it. That's
I like it. What I like it because it articulates exactly what you're trying to say,
yeah.
but it's not so well known that people have heard it before. The general public,
Really, I thought it was pretty.
at least not in my circle of,
I have no idea.
Did you think of that, Tom? Yeah,
Yeah, you got it. Come on.
yeah. I don't know how I came up with that.
Yeah, but if, just remember, if you're using it a lot, then that means everything you're doing isn't worth it.
No, actually, the reason I did use it was the same thing I just described to you about the auctions. Some lady, a customer, was asking me yesterday about, am I doing any more auctions? So I gave her the same long, boring explanation I just gave you, and ended it by saying the juice just isn't worth the squeeze.
And you dropped the mic and you just walked away. That's that's the the tax fee that, like you said, every website that's offering some kind of service, because everything's moving that way. Like the company fee is just gonna it's gonna get higher. So
It will, and in that, I don't know how unique that circumstance is, where the end user is actually a seller. A lot of times businesses online are selling directly to people, but in my situation, I was the end user because I'm using the platform.
that's
So
like that's kind of like StubHub. Like I have the tickets, I'm using that platform to sell to a buyer. Isn't that the concept?
it's the exact concept. Yes.
Yeah. So
Is there another vehicle for you to sell that legally, or is StubHub the only?
I'm sure there is. My buddy who's a master of tickets, I've probably gone to half of the things I've gone to is because of him. He knows the whole, like, he knows how to get tickets. He's good at selling tickets.
And what is your plan with the Mets? How many
20,
games?
20,
20 games?
20 out of the 81. Do we get 20?
And is that like, do they entice you like one Met Yankee game? Or?
Yeah, so you get the what's it called, opening day, but we sell that just because that's where you make the most money. Then you get a Met Yankee, and then you get two Braves, two Phillies.
And what do you get? The right to purchase postseason tickets should they trip into the postseason?
Correct.
And what do you do with those? Do you go or do you sell them?
Well, in 2015, we went to every single one, and they had versus the Dodgers. They were the away team, so they had two home games. We went. They swept the Cubs. They had two home games. We went, and they lost in Game 5 at City, and so we went to all three. Sorry, I put a 4-3.
You give me the finger. I don't have my glasses on.
We went to all three. we would never do that again. It was exhausting. It's 3 weeks of just, or 2.5 weeks of just like, like it'd be one thing if I lived across the street from City Field, but like
Yeah,
living
just the commute from Westchester
in,
to Shea. I mean,
by the
to
time you
City
get
Field.
home, it's midnight, 1 o'clock. You're getting up at 6 o'clock for work. It just turned into, it was a lot.
Now, out of the 20 games, how many do you, on average, go to the 20 regular season games?
When I lived in Astoria, I probably went to about 15 to 16 of them. So many. Now I probably go to 8 to 10. Probably go to half.
Do you always go to the Med Yankee one, or do
We
you
s-
sell that one?
I've been to at least 30 or 40 of those. Just with my buddy, going to them at Yankee Stadium, going to them at City Field. I mean, it's a fun game, but at the end of the day, it's kind of lost some of its. Now, if they played it in the World Series, that's different. But during the season, it's lost some of its luster. But this year, it was exciting. I thought this year was a pretty cool Met Yankee series.
Yeah, well, the first year they did the interleague play, I wasn't enamored with it then, but there was a novelty attached to it, In fact, I think the Mets won the first one. I think
They did.
Bernard Gilkey had a homer. What a memory, huh? I don't need my cane. Yeah.
Not yet. You're good.
Bernard, and I'm trying to remember the pitcher's name who got the win. But I remember that.
Malicki or something. Dave Malicki.
Malicki, yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. By the way, we talked about in an old podcast about that guy Davis. His first name was Ike. Ike Davis, the first baseman that you were talking
Yes, that's correct. I've learned that subsequently too. You say an old podcast like we've been doing this for years.
about.
This is like our 11th podcast.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Or the
Okay.
11th that I've done.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's an old podcast, but a podcast in May.
back when we were much younger, back in May.
Back when our lighting was much different, our sound was different.
Yeah, before my Edward R. Murrow microphones.
Yeah. Oh, you got what was that?
Hold on, I gotta get on Amazon for a second.
Take it easy. Yeah.
You should screw them in, Tom. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, I think it's funny. I had mentioned to you I want to hone the sound of these podcasts and then work on the video, But what I've been doing is, like I mentioned before, we did Lily's Medi Spa podcast, came out last Monday as we're talking on Thursday. And the sound for the actual podcast, I mean, a podcast is supposed to be audio anyway. It's not supposed to be video, But the sound was really good. I did a little, because the two ladies that were here were sharing one microphone because I'm a cheap bastard. And I had to do a little thing in the mixing, amplify them a little bit. But anyway, I thought the sound came out really well on the the podcast part that goes out to Apple and Google and Spotify.
Yeah.
But the YouTube one, I just take the audio from the camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should start manipulating that. When I download it from the camera, I use GoPro camera, just one camera. And when I download that, it does segregate. It gives you an audio video file, and it gives you a separate audio file. But I'm not well versed enough to be able to sync. In other words, amplify the. Well, first, let me say the audio on the video portion wasn't as good as the audio on the podcast portion. So I don't know how to say that better than that, but
pretty much how to sync it all so it's all one. Just
yeah. So I can manipulate, like I can take the audio file from the camera and mix it up so the sound quality is better.
Mhm.
But how do you sync that with the video? I don't know what the hell I'm doing yet, but I'm getting there. Each week I learn a little bit more about what to do.
That's good, and maybe the HBO production guy give you a little push in the right direction if you see him.
Yeah, well, he set up some lights. He did it like a quick thing. He wants to get involved with this podcast when he's done with this with the HBO production he's working on. which is fine. I certainly welcome that. But, you know, the lighting, I don't really use the lighting that he set up at the moment because it needs to be honed, you know.
This is
You know,
all.
I'm an Irishman with a red enough face. Like you have a tan, you're in Florida. I have a tan because I'm always 6 inches away from a heart attack. But
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
but you know, the lighting he did set up, which you can't see it from where this proximity, but there's lights all around here. Brings out every corpuscle in my head. So
You're like, take it easy, all right?
take it easy, you know.
Right.
You know, nobody needs to see. They don't even want to look at my face, let alone my blood flowing through my head.
How do we filter this? How do we get?
So actually, to be honest with you, the video, the angle sucks. I want to eventually have at least two cameras, you know, when I learn how to mix all of that, hone it all together.
Well, this is, we're still at, we're like kind of still at the infant stage.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking now, this is only our 11th, I think our 11th one, so.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd like to have like one camera, like when someone's in the house here, have one camera for me and them, and then one camera focusing on them. See, Zoom is easy because you start talking, the camera will go right to you. I start talking. That's why you got to talk when I'm using my incense.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, it sounds like the ideas of the foundation's there, and the ideas are flowing from it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But you know, the reason I started this was, again, purest of reasons, to have interesting conversations with interesting people. Yes. And I have. I mean, I've learned a lot from the people that have been here so far.
I bet. That's the part of like podcasts that, like you watch a podcast and like you take something from it, but to be the host or whatever you want to call it, the leader of the podcast, like, you must be gaining just so much just from talking to different people. Like that's, like, I'll say this, the most I've ever learned is by going out and, like talking to people and mixing it up and experiencing, like a book is great. I'm not knocking books, but, like learning about the Vietnam War, I could read about it. Obviously I can never go back to it, but I could talk to somebody who was there. I'm going to gain a lot more from that. Yeah.
And, we are people that, it's usually like, I don't know how many people watch the video, 20, 30, not a lot at the moment. Yeah. The videos that we put on the channel, but, probably close to a couple of hundred on the audio part.
Per episode?
Podcast. Yeah.
That's,
I don't know who the hell's listening to this.
What's happening?
Including people from Europe. I don't know, the platform I used to push it out to all those directories.
I just envisioned who's ever in Europe that when they listen to it, they have it dubbed in their language. So we're talking, but it's coming out in a different language.
No, you can't translate what the hell you and I are saying. That's for sure.
But
we're not even really talking English when you
I know. We're talking like city New Yorkish.
Yeah. Well, I really was hoping to get Timmy Leary on the when these people who do listen to us hear Timmy Leary talk. I mean, he's funny. First of all, he's funny as hell. I mean, he's made me cry laughing 100 times. And he's an ex-NYPD guy. He used to be a cop down in.
Is he really an ex-cop?
Yeah, he was in the 4-0 precinct in the Bronx.
He did his 20?
No, I don't. He doesn't. He didn't finish his whatever they call that, the term.
Yeah.
But he's so Bronx, and he's like a Bronx legend, And he's very, very funny guy. It's just hard to explain, except I can't wait for him to come up here. But I was hoping tonight to have him. He's not exactly computer/internet savvy, so it would have been like 3 hours telling him how to download Zoom
And you know,
and then go into his email and get a link to the Zoom.
and then he's getting stressed out, and then he's getting pissed at you. He's like,
Yeah.
I hit the button. I told you.
By the time he got on with us, he'd be pissed off.
He's like, fuck this. I don't want to do it.
And
You know,
it just something to look forward to anyway.
I met him probably 2 or 3 times in my life, but when I used to bartend back in the day in Queens, you brought him with you when you stopped by one time. Oh my God. Because I worked at like it was like a bar / restaurant, wearing shirts and ties. So like, it was a little bit more, it was like upscale, but it was like more upscale. And he was, you just, I'm like looking at my heads in my hands being like, oh my God, because he would just go, he would just let it rip.
He's a nonstop and he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. You just reminded me, it was like an upscale bar you worked in over there, right?
Yeah.
Was it in Astoria?
No, it was in
Long Island. Wasn't it in Long Island?
No, it's right on the border of Queen. Like, it was like Queens, New Hyde Park.
Okay.
Like the border. But anyway, I bartended in Astoria also, but that was like my main bartending days in my 20s.
There was a guy who used to celebrity that used to frequent that bar.
Yeah, there was a couple.
John Turturro.
Yes, he used to come through, and I got to, we just bullshit. He was a Jet fan, so we had something to talk about.
He's a great actor. I like him.
Yeah.
He did a movie which I don't know how many people have ever heard of it, called Mac, M-A-C.
I don't know if I know that.
I would definitely check it. It's a great movie.
All right.
I think it's sort of I don't kind of autobiographical. I'm not sure of the origins of it, but it's about a group of brothers who grew up with a father who was a contractor, build houses, and they all start their own business in Long Island right after World War II.
I got you.
So it'd be like, what was the name of that big development for the veterans in Long Island?
What town? Do you know what town?
That's the town I'm trying to think of.
Huntington, Massapequa. I'm just names.
No, I can't think of the name of the town, but
well, he's from there. His mom is.
Let me go all the way over to my computer and see if I can talk amongst yourselves.
His brother and sister were also or maybe they still are, but they were in acting.
Yeah, his brother, I know. His brother's a big Yankee fan. He's probably a big Yankee fan too, but I like him anyway.
His sister's was the sister in The Sopranos, Tony Soprano's sister. That's his sister.
Oh yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm trying to find out this town.
Oh, son of a bitch.
It's bugging the crap out of me.
What are you typing like this?
Two-handed, baby. Levittown.
Oh, Levittown, yeah.
Levittown.
I don't know it well, but I know of it.
Yeah, it was basically a lot of housing was built. I can't guarantee that's what this movie is based in, but it's similar. Like GIs coming back from World War II. That's how Levittown became Levittown. People, a lot of house building for returning veterans.
He's done. He was in The Big Lebowski, which is a great movie.
He was in a ton of great movies.
Yeah. The Quiz Show, which is quietly a great movie.
Love that show. Love that movie. Yeah.
There's other ones too.
But this is a sleeper. I don't know how many people have actually seen this movie, but it's well worth the watch.
Just called Mac.
M-A-C, Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you'll enjoy it. If you're from New York, you'll enjoy it.
I'll go look it up.
Yeah. So talk for a while I have to relight my incense.
It looks good. One time he came in and he was at the bar and he was his mother lived in the area, so like I think when he come visit her, he would bring her into the spot, and because it was also
stop right for a snark after.
Yeah, and he would whatever, and he just did this movie called Secret Window with Johnny Depp, and I happened to have seen it. And I was like, oh, I thought it was a good movie. I was like, oh, that was a good movie. He's just like, it was shit. And
He said it was shit,
yeah, he's like,
and
nah,
and,
it was
and
shit.
he was in the movie.
Yeah, he was in the
Oh,
movie. He's like, it was shit. I didn't like it. I was like, like, what you said that, you're like, all right, all right, man.
I don't know if I'm spelling his name right. Turturro, right?
TUT, yeah, TU. Just put John TUT. It should come out.
So,
We've advanced, man. We're using the internet now in our conversations. This is
oh
getting crazy.
yeah, this is a reference. We're referencing. There was a guy who Ellen Barkin was in the movie. I'm trying to read some names that ring a bell. Ada Turturro, Michael Imperioli, isn't that the guy from The Sopranos?
From The Sopranos, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the guy that played Christopher in The Sopranos was
Yeah.
in this. Anyway, it's a real good movie. I highly recommend it. There's one guy whose name I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to.
When did it come out? What year did it come out?
Oh, it came out in 1992.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
There's a slim chance I might have seen it, but I don't. It's not ringing.
Well,
a
you
bell.
got something to look forward to then. Can I
Yeah,
tell you?
tonight. I can't wait. I'll text you.
So, yeah, a real good movie. I lent it to my friend. He never gave it back. So if you're listening, Rich, you still got my Mac. But it was on VHS, I think, so I don't even have the means to play it. So keep it.
Isn't that like the truth? Like for me, it's a couple of DVDs I lent out that I'm like, damn, I wish I still had those.
Yes, but this was on VHS, so I don't even have a VHS player anymore. So
A movie called A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints. It's a movie based in the story. It was when I was living like my prime years in the story. It was being filmed there. Great movie. It's about like this kid and his friends and growing up in the 80s. And I guess the story in the 80s was a pretty rough area at the
was
time.
there anybody I know that was in it?
Oh yeah. Robert Downey Jr., the lead guy from the Bronx Tale, Sonny. Yeah, it was Shia LaBeouf. I don't know how to say his last name.
Sheila LaBeouf.
Yeah,
That's
Rosario.
not how you say it.
Yeah, there's a lot. There was a Rosario Dawson. There was Channing. He's a famous actor.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. That's it.
I got my finger on the pulse, Sean.
Yeah, you don't have to say. Oh, you got his poster up on the wall.
I don't know why I remember that name. Guess it's a weird name or an out of the ordinary name. Excuse me.
Check it out. It was an excellent movie.
Well, have you ever seen the movie? Now you're not old enough to remember the 70s, but have you ever seen? Well, this is the guy's name. Michael Badalucco.
Michael Badalucco.
Yeah, he played Turturro's brother in this
Does
movie.
he have red hair?
I think I don't know what the hell he had back in the day. I don't know.
I think that's
Like me, he's probably gray now, but
I think that rings a bell. I think I know who that guy is. I may not have seen what
he's been in other movies. What the hell was I going to say? A Spike Lee movie called Summer of Sam.
Oh, good movie.
That really, I can say as someone who lived through that, Son of Sam thing. And
Yeah, you were a teenager, right?
yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
What, 77? I was, yeah. Let's go through the math again. 14, no, 16, no, 15.
Yeah, you were teen years. That's why I kept it very general for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He captured Spike Lee. I have to give him credit. He captured that feel of the city at that time.
Yeah, it was hot as balls, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it was I just think he captured it pretty well. But it made me think of another movie.
Movie.
Yeah, what's this is where I really, people are going to realize I really don't have my finger on the pulse. This guy, I met him a couple of times actually. This guy was in Saving Private Ryan. He played the guy from Brooklyn.
Oh, Ed Burns or something.
Ed Burns, God bless you, lad. Byrnes.
Yeah, something.
He came out with a movie. Geez, that's not the right guy. He came out with a movie that I think he directed, starred in.
He's had a few of those. Like
The
a lot.
Groomsman, that was the name of it. The
Yeah, yeah.
Groomsman.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember where the hell that took place. I think somewhere in Long Island, right?
Yeah, he's from Long Island, so a lot of his movies. He's done a bunch of movies that are based on Long Island.
Yeah. Well, ironically, what made me think of that, there was a scene in Summer of Sam, which I think takes place in Trog's Neck. Either Trog's Neck or City Island, where the neighborhood gets together and prevents people from, probably City Island in the Bronx, prevents people from getting on the island because they don't want the son of Sam getting in there. Do you remember that scene?
I don't see him, but I can feel it. I can sense it.
Yeah, and it's like a dead end, and they're down by the river, and that's what made me think of the Groomsman, because I think there's a road there which is near the water. You know, it made me think of it.
Yeah, I got you.
There's also a great scene in Summer of Sam when I can't remember that guy's name either. He was the pianist.
Oh, Adrian Brody.
Yeah, he's actually.
Talk about getting your finger on the pulse. I'm
Oh
killing.
yeah, I'm here. I'm current culturally established. He also was in what's the name of that movie about chess records? I think it's Chess Records. You know, with Beyonce, I think was in it. He plays.
I don't know.
He plays the guy ahead of the record company. Same guy.
Yeah.
I think it's the same guy. But anyway, there's a great scene where he's out in the rain and then playing Baba O'Reilly by the Who.
Okay.
And he's got his guitar out there. Do you remember that scene from Summer of Sam? Now I want to watch the movie again.
I've only seen it once when it came out, so yeah, it sounds like it's. I gotta
Well,
watch.
I could tell you, Spike Lee did a heck of a job capturing the feel of the city of the time. In fact, wasn't there a scene from Studio 54 or
I don't know.
CBGBs or one of them?
Maybe. Or I have a good word is that he captured the essence of what was going on.
Yes, the essence. Good job.
Yeah.
You know, your Uncle Tom played in CBGBs.
Yes, you mentioned that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think that's there anymore.
No, it's gone. They
Yeah.
tried. A lot of artists tried to save it, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it was good back then. That place was a shithole.
Yeah,
even back then.
Like I think we talked about like that. That's one of those places. If you know like a shithole bar in Manhattan, then you understand what the bathrooms are like. That's one of those places like you don't want to go in those bathrooms, but you go anyway because you gotta.
I wouldn't want to go to the bathroom in CB. I
Yeah.
don't think I did.
Yeah, it's a shithole in there.
But yeah, the Bottom Line was around then too. That was a great venue to watch a band play. Saw a lot of good bands there. I saw David Johansen. Remember him? He was in the New York Dolls actually,
Oh, I okay.
but he came out with a solo career. What's the name of that song? Hot, hot, hot. How you feeling? Hot, hot.
The
hot.
hot.
Yeah, that was him. Great drummer in that band.
Yeah.
It's a great place to see a band. The Bottom Line. That's no longer around either.
Yeah, that's not like I know a lot of the mainstay places. Bottom line's not ringing a bell.
Oh yeah, it was so many great bands played there.
Where was it? Where's it located?
I think it was on 4th Street, if I'm not mistaken.
Downtown 4th?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 4th
Yeah.
Street. Never mind. Yeah, 4th Street.
West
by
4th. Huh?
by the basketball courts.
I don't know. Maybe the basketball courts are where the Bottom Line was. I have no idea. They went out of business about 15, 20 years ago.
Okay, yeah, the basketball like it's famous courts at 4th Street.
Oh.
Yeah, and
So actually, believe it or not, I saw Soupy Sales there. He's a comic. He had his own TV show before your time. Before my time too, but
were you
we went down there on a walk. We were hanging out in the bar in the Bronx, me and my friends. Soupy Sales is playing at the bar. Let's go. So we got in a cab, went down there, and I guess we were able to get tickets.
did you see a lot of comedians in your day or no?
No.
Like live?
I never actually went out to, I've seen comedians in Vegas. I've seen comedians, but I was never one to go out and buy a ticket to see a comedian like you would to go see a concert.
I told you my buddy who's I call him the ticket master. He's I've gone to tons of comedy shows, but I've never bought a comedy show ticket myself. It's always because of him. You know.
You smacking me in the head?
No, there was a little fly came in and went
Oh.
popped right onto my screen.
They got
So.
flies down there in Florida.
Or something. I don't know. A bird.
You could hang advertising on the flies down there in Florida.
Yeah.
Last time I was down there, those big ass bugs.
If you go outside like 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock, it's mosquitoes and flies, and then they seem to go away. Then from 5 o'clock on, they come back. I don't
You got a pool on your where you are?
I got a pool, got a beach.
Is that like a what do you call those? A bunch of houses, a community, or you have a?
Oh no. Like the pool, like my dad has a pool in his backyard.
Oh, so it's a.
Yeah.
You don't have to go there with Leon Schwartz from down the block.
Not right. You jump in the pool and all of a sudden 3 like 6-year-olds come run jumping in. It's not like that.
So you get it. It's all yours whenever you want.
Yeah, it's all mine. I mean, unfortunately, my dad's here, so he jumps in every once in a while. So.
Well, it's his house. He's allowed to be there.
Yeah.
So, and you don't say unfortunately. You spend quality time with your pop.
No, I was just kidding. Of course. Yeah, we're having a good time. We played some golf today. It's a beautiful day today. It's really nice.
When he goes back to where's he going? But he lives in Great Barrington.
Yeah, he's up near Great Barrington. Yeah.
He's going back there after this week?
No, next Thursday or Friday. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. And you'll still be there by yourself for a couple more weeks?
No, yeah, for 1 more week ish.
Mhm.
And because I'm gonna come back up, I land July 30th, and then Colin, my nephew, we talked about him. His birthday is August 2nd, so I think that weekend, my sister-in-law Tammy's probably gonna throw some kind of a thing. So I always make it home for his birthday.
I'll hang out by the mailbox.
Yeah. They're putting in a pool.
I know.
What a project.
I spoke to your sister-in-law a couple of days ago.
How's it go? Has anything happened with the pool? I haven't talked to them in like a week.
I think they're swimming in it.
They're swimming in it, but they're still waiting for like the patio to put, there's a lot of things that have to happen.
Yeah, they're dumping a lot of money into that house. I don't know. I hope the juice is worth the squeeze.
Well, if it's my brother, then I'm guessing, if he's willing to do that, then I would guess that it's worth the squeeze.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They don't intend to move there.
Yeah, that's the next,
over the next 20, 30 years. So they might as well have what they want there.
Exactly.
All right, Shawnee boy. Well, it was good to get a hold of you down there in Florida.
Yeah.
Now that we know the internet reaches all the way down to the southern part of the United States.
It may not be worldwide, but it's definitely countrywide. We know that.
Yeah. So I guess the game plan would be when you get back up here, when you say you'll be up here for the month of August, pretty much.
Yeah, so I'll be ready to go once I get home. I mean, it's not like.
Well, maybe I'll try and get Timmy Leary up here, and you'll have to come up to Millbrook.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless I, read a book and figure out how to do all of that, but I don't think so.
That's okay.
We'll work with what we got for now. But each week I'm learning a little more, Sean. So bear with me.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
Are you having an earthquake down there?
I'm just trying to get comfortable. I'm not in my normal chair. I'm in some wooden.
Yeah, there's no Space Force chair.
I'm in some wooden rickety.
Ready to eat?
Not yet.
Huh? Oh, because it's ready.
I'm in some wooden rickety.
Is that your father?
Yeah, he popped in for a second.
You should have put him on the camera.
I didn't know. He wasn't. It's all right. Next time.
Yeah.
I'm in
He has to sign a release if he gets on the camera.
Yeah, he does. I was gonna I'm in some chair that's not normal. It's not comfortable. So
I hear you. You got to get that Space Force chair.
I move. That's exactly what I thought. Like the Titans are running the Space Force program.
Listen, I don't know what they're going to do with that $16 billion, but they should buy a couple of them chairs.
Yeah, big time.
Because if the government buys it, it'll be $30,000 each.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Well, you enjoy yourself down there. And again, tomorrow night you won't be on because this fella, his name is Asa. it'd be, I think, well worth it for you to watch it when we're done, hopefully.
I definitely watch it.
Going to talk about how he, what he did in World War II, but I want to bring him up to the present day too. Because he's been in the antique business
Oh wow, all right, cool.
for many, many years. So again, he's 90, I think 94, 95 years old. So
That's incredible.
the hard part's getting him up the stairs. After that, it's all downhill and downstairs. So, all right, Sean, you have a good time down there?
I enjoyed my time on the Gritty Hour.
Yes, I think it was an hour. Actually, it's an hour and 10 minutes. We'll have to edit some of it out or just let it rip.
Yeah, that's us. We
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
brother. So hopefully whatever you do down there, the juice is worth the squeeze.
We'll hope so.
All right, Sean, take care.
Be good.